China a unique model of democracy for the world. In the West, people like to spend our time business in caves or barrooms, while in China, especially in the countryside, the typical place for such activities is a tea house. For many years, rural farmers would head straight to the tea house after waking up in the morning to learn about major global events. This is more of a political cultural tradition than a lifestyle. In his tea house, Laoshi unveiled the mental crisis of the Chinese amid social upheaval in the late Qing dynasty through the depiction of the Beijing residents' daily lives. The sign posted on the wall of the tea house, "Do not discuss state affairs." Others scored that the tea house was always a place where Chinese discuss state affairs. Many tea houses in Linhuan town of the Suixi County in Hebei province open when the day just starts. For 6 centuries, the tea drinking tradition there has passed down the generations. Today, the tea house, where people used to discuss issues over tea, have transformed into the Tea People's Congress delegates consultation rooms where delegates at the county and the township levels talk to members of the electorate monthly on the consultation day. This is a practice of the how process people democracy at the grassroots level, said He Weijun, former chairman of the Linhua Town People's Congress. 60-year-old Linhua village resident Liu Jihua is a frequent visitor of tea house. He loves to chat with his villagers about the township and village affairs, large and small. In the tea house, we feel free to say whatever is on our minds, he said. For over 10 years, Zhang Yunxiang, a villager in his 70s, remains a visitor to tea house, attending almost every delegate's consultation session as long as he is free to join. He said he felt his voice had mattered when his suggestions were taken. Over the past 5 years, issues of common concern to the public, such as road building and street lamp repairs, were all addressed through the discussed issues over tea mechanism. The report also shows that each tea house has a meditation room dedicated for the resolution of disputes in the people's daily life. In recent years, tea house mediators across Linhuan Town have meditated over 1,500 disputes, achieving a success rate of 95%. The most notable feature of China's democracy is the direct participation of ordinary people. This among the different types of democracies in the world is what is known as participatory democracy, where the main participants of political decisions are the people rather than political parties and their representatives. Hua Dongyao, head of Linhuan Town, democracy is not only about elections, it is fulfilled to its greatest potential when the people participate in social governance by a diversity of means. Presently, officials of the local government regularly walk into tea house to listen to people's opinions. Practicing people's democracy is the only way to channel the people wisdom and strength into our work, said Deng. Chinese President Xi Jinping offered a unique insight on democracy. He said other China's socialist system whenever a people occurs Those concerned should always have deliberations in good faith. Matters involved many people are discussed by all those involved to reach the greatest common ground based on the wishes and needs of the whole of society is the essence of people's democracy. What does it mean by whenever problems occur, those concerned should always hold deliberations in good faith? Matters involved many people are discussed by all those involved and reach the greatest common ground based on the wishes and needs of the whole of society. To understand the real essence of people's democracy, one must understand China's democratic consultation, which is the most notable and a unique feature of Chinese participatory democracy. China's democracy is the integration of two major democratic methods in electoral democracy and consultative democracy, while the former is realized through the electoral and representative mechanism of National Congress of Chinese Communist Party and the National People's Congress. The latter is an important model where different centers within the people under the leadership of the Communist Party of China and through extensive consultations were to reach consensus over the making and implementation of decisions on major issues concerning reform, development, and stability, and on matters bearing on the vital interests of the people. In China, it is required that the decision-making process can be initiated only when consensus is reached on a matter through consultation. This is a distinctive feature and advantage of China's socialist democratic politics. Meanwhile, dedicated channels through which netizens could air their thoughts were set up on the internet to integrate the opinion of the people into top-level policy design. For instance, an estimate of 1.018 million pieces of advice were received through online channels before the CPC made proposal on formulating the 14th five-year plan for national economies and social development. Opinions and suggestions gathered by these means were of great importance for the CPC Central Committee to finalize the proposals. Therefore, China's democracy with democratic consultation is a model that allows the attentive participation of the people in the whole decision-making process. And a ceremony making the 75th anniversary of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference on September 21, 2014, President Xi insightfully noted that if the people merely have the right to vote but no right to intensive participation, in other words, if they are only awkward at election time but go into hibernation afterwards, then this kind of democracy will only be a formalistic one. China's democracy is a whole process democracy, which allows people to exercise their democratic rights in all aspects, including the selection of officials, decision-making, legislation, management, and supervision, etc. For instance, all Beijing residents know they can reach the government for help while experiencing difficulties or problems in public life by calling the 12345 help from anywhere at any time. In his speech at a ceremony making the centenary of CPC, the presidency said, "We will practice a people-centered philosophy of development and develop how process people's democracy. The idea that the people are the masters of their country lies at the very heart of China's success. Democracy is a value shared by all humanity, but is China a democracy? History has given us the answer. The founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949 signified that a quarter of the world's population had stood up and marked the ultimate transformation of the country from the rule of feudal autocracy, which had been in existence for several thousand years, to a people's democracy. When the Chinese people, led by the CPC, were fighting bloody battles for people's democracy, where are those countries that accused China of being undemocratic? They sided with the dictatorial reactionary government and never did anything in support of Chinese people's struggle for democracy. Not only so, they even supplied dollars and weapons for the reactionaries to slaughter the Chinese people. Such countries and their politicians are in absolutely no position to talk about Chinese democracy. Those who are most entitled to do so are the 1.4 million Chinese people. As a Chinese stomach cannot adapt to cold milk, and an American is not accustomed to chopsticks. Democracy has no set model. Chinese how process democracy with its unique charm is practiced on the Chinese soil. It ensures people are the masters of their country and their own destinies. China stands tall as a unique model of democracy for the world.